HVAC scams are on the rise. In this video, we're going to talk about how the Better Business Bureau says that last year, over 7,000 HVAC scams were reported. And this year, we are on track to surpass that number big time. Who am I? I'm Josh. I'm host of the HVAC Guide for Homeowners YouTube channel. Please subscribe for more HVAC tips, but let's dive into this. I came across this article today where they pointed out the Better Business Bureau is saying that these scams are on the rise, and they actually go through some of the scams that these contractors are doing, if you want to call them contractors. We're going to go through some of these scams and maybe some things that you can do to try to avoid some of these things. They interviewed a guy named Nick Noth, and he's with the Better Business Bureau. He said, quote, "There is such a high demand for units these days with supply chain issues that anything they can get their hands on is worth money for something who is willing to pay for it. The scammers are pressuring consumers to sign a contract that is not beneficial to them, according to the Better Business Bureau." So get this, a contractor will come out and tell you that you need an AC unit, a new furnace, and take your AC unit or furnace away, or both, and then you'll never see them again. What they're really doing is stealing your air conditioning unit, Noth says. And I'm paraphrasing there just to let you know. Another scam the Better Business Bureau has reported is seeing someone installing an air conditioning unit that the unit breaks down and you can never get in contact with the installer for it to be reported. They also go through how some of these companies are gouging customers with pricing, and what these companies are doing is, in some cases, is reaching out to the homeowner directly. So if you're not sure that the company you are speaking to is legit, you should hang up and call that company's direct number that you can find online, and then you'll be able to know if who you were talking to is the real deal, if they're actually an agent of that company. If you fall victim to an HVAC scam, your chance of getting your money back depends on the situation. In some cases, these guys are not licensed, they may not be who they say they are, and then you've given them your air conditioning unit or money and they've ran with it. This article goes on to talking about some of the things you can do to try to avoid this. They also talk about contacting law enforcement if you have been scammed. In my opinion, before you ever get down that road, before you ever get scammed, I think there are some things you can do to try to avoid all of this and avoid getting scammed in the first place. And so what are those things? I think the first thing you can do is make sure you're getting things in writing, make sure you're asking for things like their license, their insurance, all the things that heating and air contractors should have in place. Ask for proof. Tell them your cousin in another state who does heating and air has told you that you need to get this. That way you're kind of putting it on someone else. You're not looking like an overbearing homeowner. Most good companies should have no problems supplying you with their credentials and their insurance COI, and also signing a contract. Another thing that might be a red flag is if it's too good to be true. I was just helping someone on our website, New HVAC Guide, the other day, and we were talking about some of the quotes they were receiving, and one of those quotes was almost too good to be true. I explained to him that the quote that he received is actually less than what that company is probably paying for the equipment, and it was just a little bit of a concern. I didn't tell him not to choose them. I just told him to make sure he was getting everything in writing and making sure that he's covering all his bases to try to avoid getting scammed. We go through more of some things like things that you can cover in the contract and other things you can do to protect yourself if you sign up for our guide, but just making sure all the ducks in a row, making sure who you're talking to is legit, and making sure that you get everything in writing are some things that you could do to protect yourself. Let me know down in the comments, have you ever been taken advantage of by a heating and air company? I'd love to hear about that. If you like this video, I think you'll like this one even more. It's all about how there's a perfect storm in the HVAC industry, creating circumstances for more scammers than ever. So check out that video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.